Hello, my name is Prosper, and welcome back to this HTML course. All right, in the previous lesson, we spoke about the how to add the image, how to add an image to a HTML file. So moving forward, we'll be looking at HTML elements. And like we said, we've mentioned this before. You can actually just take a glance at this. We've already treated this HTML elements before now. But why we're bringing this back again is to show you further things that could actually be nested within the HTML element. So as we were speaking initially, let's go back to our let's go back to this and let me delete. This is what we treated initially, and let me copy this. Okay, there is no need to copy this because we already have this on our HTML file already. So this is an example. The HTML element is the root element and it defines the whole HTML document. It has a start tag, which we know, HTML, and an end tag, HTML. Then inside the HTML element there is a body, right? This is the body, and inside the body we have the h1 and we also have the paragraph. Mind you, these are not the only thing that is included in the body. From the previous class, we could also see that I haven't gone ahead to indicate the link. I've gone ahead to include a link to the body. I've included an image source, an image to the body as well. There are several other things. Like I earlier said that anything you see on your user interface on your web page is actually indicated in your body paragraph. So in your body, sorry, not your body paragraph, your body tag. So that every code that you'll be writing is going to be in your body tag. But why we're talking about nested HTML elements is how do I define this? Now let's talk about a coconut. Let's talk about a coconut. When we look at the external of a coconut, we can see the hard shell of the coconut, the hard shell of the coconut. Now inside that hard shell, there is this other layer which is the coconut itself, those the white coconut itself. And now inside the coconut, so we find in many of them this sweet water inside of it. So this is just the definition of one thing being nested in another thing. So under the HTML file we have the body, and under inside the body we have the h tag, we have the paragraph tag, we have the a tag, we have the image tag, we have other separate tags which we are going to be seeing in the process of this lesson. Some HTML element will display correctly even if you forget to. Okay, this is another thing. As it is important for you to always close your HTML tags. It is, however, there are some HTML tags that will not you will not be charged if they don't have a close tag, like the paragraph. Now let's look at the paragraph and say my name sorry my name is Prosper. Now let's save this and look at this on our page. If I refresh this, you'll see that it shows here my name is Prosper, and this is because this is the way the HTML doc type has made it to be. So even without a close tag, it will display correctly. However, there are some that if you don't have a close tag, it will never, what did I say? It will never display. You are just going to be looking for your text on your web browser and you're not going to find it, and that's simply because you made an error not to close your tag. But to be on a safer side, I would recommend and I would plead that you always close your tag. Whatever tag you have opened, make sure that you close that particular tag. Moving forward, we also have empty elements. We also have empty HTML elements, and these empty HTML elements are the ones that do not bear any form of end tag. The HTML with no content are called empty elements, and they don't have contents. Like we could see that in others where if you open, if I indicate, if I come here and put a p tag and I also close this p tag, I close this p tag, right? And I go to my and I save this and go to my this thing and refresh my web browser, you'll see that nothing is indicated here. Why? Because I have not included any element, any content in between here. So let me say I put in content for here and save it. If I go back, it's going to display. Content is going to display. But if I don't, nothing is going to display no matter how much tag I fill in this manner. But there are other tags that doesn't require this, and we could see them in HR and BR. HR is just like horizontal, to create a horizontal break, and also the BR is also to create a break. And I'll tell you what these two are for. Not just those two, there are others, but I'm just using these two as example in this level. And let me copy this. Let me copy this and bring it to our HTML file so that we can see what we are talking about. Let me paste this here. When I paste this now, you see this is a paragraph with a line break. Now this BR indicates this tag, this BR tag is a break tag. What does it mean? Let me remove this BR tag and let's look at this on our web browser. When I open this, you will see this is a paragraph with a line break. But then when we have this BR, let me bring back the BR here, it's break, it's for breaking. And when I bring it back and I refresh, you see it has broken from that level where we indicated it. This is a paragraph with a break line, sorry. And let me move this. If I say I want to remove this break and add it on just this side and save this, let's go back to our web page. You will see that every other thing is on a horizontal line, and this one is starting a new line because I have broken it from these others. I have broken it. So that is what the BR is meant for. Then let me quickly, we are going to go to HR, but quickly let me just show you what HR does. Oh, don't worry, when we get to HR, it's also a tag similar to this, and it's also just create a horizontal line across whatever text you've made. But I believe in the process of this course, we are also going to treat what the HR does as well. So that is it for the BR tag. Then HTML is not case sensitive. Good. Just the same way we've seen this doc type that we say it is not case sensitive, this P as well is not case sensitive. So if I want to have a capital letter P and here also a capital letter P, it is still going to represent whatever element that is or content that is within these tags. So let's look at this and see that it doesn't change anything. It doesn't change anything. So it's not case sensitive. However, you can still use a smaller letter just for you not to get yourself confused. So in this case, and in the course of this lesson, I would be using a lowercase letter or a small letter for all the tags I will be creating in this course. So HTML, additional information, description. HTML is the root, so this just gives us a summary. HTML is the root and it defines the document body, why this defines the header, like we've said. So let's move on to the next, which is the HTML attributes. Now the HTML attributes. HTML attributes provide additional information about HTML elements. All HTML elements can have attributes. Sure. Attributes provide additional information about HTML elements. Attributes are always specified in the stat tag. Attributes usually comes in names, stroke, values, pairs, like name and the value. So you can actually attest to this, that while we're looking at maybe let's say we're looking at the href attribute, which is embedded in the a link, that's the a tag, which is of course called also the link tag. We could see that the value, the name of that particular attribute is href. Now this is the attribute, this is called the attribute, and wherever it is linked to is called the value. So what we carried from the link we copied from the jumia.com is the value. Then the attribute is the name of that particular attribute that defines the link, that defines the value of where we want to visit in the case of this link. I hope you understand. So let me look at the image as well. So the image also is an attribute. For the image source, the source is the attribute which we use in order to link our image to whatever folder or whatever directory we brought our image from. The source is the attribute, and the particular link which we brought from the folder or the directory is also known as the value of that attribute, while the image is the tag. I hope you understand this. And there are two ways to specify the URL link in source attributes. Now we have the absolute and we have the relative. Now if you recall, you would see that I mentioned this earlier on, that we have the absolute and we have the relative URL. Now the absolute URL is an external image that is hosted on another website. Now we can copy another image. Why I told you that it is advisable for you to always download that image and use it. There are cases you can also use external image. You can just copy the image link and add it to your HTML image source attribute. However, in most cases, it is not advisable, or I would not recommend that. And the reason why I could not recommend that is this: external images might be under copyright. If you do not get permission to use it, you may be in violation of copyright law. In addition, you cannot control external images. It can suddenly be removed or changed. So let's say Jumia is using this particular image and you've copied from their own image and used that source of image in your own work. Tomorrow, if Jumia says they want to shut down or they want to close their website, once they close their website, that image automatically will be deleted from your own web page because they've dissolved their own website. That's why I would recommend that you rather just download that. And for other cases too, there are violations. So if Jumia is using a logo, if Jumia has already logo and Jumia has a logo that we already know worldwide that they're using, and you go to use that same logo in your work as well, you know that you do not have this, you're violating the copyright law, and you don't have permission to use that logo that Jumia has already create as a brand for themselves. So you're actually violating that. So let's look at the relative link. Now this brings us to the relative link, which we speak is an image that is hosted within the website. So just as I have done that, I downloaded the image and I hosted it in my own folder and used it. That is just the best way to go about it. And if the relative begins with a slash, it would be relative to the current page. So you guys, you all can actually attest that I mentioned this as well, that when you use a slash, it brings you to that particular directory that you have your website on. Now you can also have a folder. In the case where you allow this slash to be present is when you already have a folder inside that your web page. Then you can create a slash and allow the slash to stay there, because the slash indicates that it is inside another folder, inside the folder that you have already created your HTML document files in. I hope this is understandable. Then we look at the width and the height. We've already explained this. We looked at the alternative when the image is broken. I mean, someone can still see. Mind you, when the image is not having an error, this alternative text is not going to display. The alternative text only displays when the image has an error. Now we'll be looking at the style and the title, but I don't want to make this class longer than it is right now. So I would catch you in the next class. Thank you. My name is Prosper, and see you in the next class.